Alright, today I want to give a quick walkthrough of a simple 3D printing project that I just completed to replace a toggle switch cover for a kitchen range hood. I'll put a picture of the original here. Okay, so this thing fell off and we're going to try to 3D print a replacement. I'm using a piece of software called OpenSCAD or OpenSCAD, and it's a programmatic way to generate 3D models. So the approach here, if you look at that picture of the original, is it's actually impossible without printing some support structures to print this thing as a single piece. And so support structures add some complexity and they require some more material to print. So we're going to take a different approach of splitting the piece into two components and fashioning some way to snap those two things together into a single assembly. So I've got the code here on the left and the rendered version of it on the right. I'm just going to step through it briefly to give you a sense of the different things. There are 6 components here, 4 of which are extremely simple. The first one to go through is this thing called a test toggle. It's that little red box on the right, and its job is to represent the switch that is attached to the range hood that this whole final assembly will have to slip over and cover. It doesn't get printed, it's just there to make sure that from a debugging standpoint that all the sizes are approximately correct. Then there's 2 simple components that I've called a support post and a support post hole. These are for mating the 2 major components together. You can see the support post holes here on the bottom in blue, and if I rotate this a little bit, you'll see that there are corresponding support posts on the base plate. And so, as you can imagine, the switch cover will flip over and get mated to the base plate, and the toggle switch will be fitted through the void and slotted in securely. So let's just look at the base plate for a second. The base plate is, according to the dimensions provided, very simple thing. It just is a plate that has a void in the middle, and these 2 support posts. I put them on opposite sides just in case there was a little bit of a torque when you're hitting the switch. The offset of the posts might help to counteract the forces there. So again, these are small posts. The whole thing is something like 30 millimeters. These posts are probably a millimeter by a millimeter. They're not going to be very strong, but why not? So that's the base plate, and then let's just go down. I'll skip the grippers for a second. The switch cover is also relatively simple. It has a single void inside of it to receive the sort of portion of the switch that isn't covered by the base plate, and then the corresponding voids for the support posts. If I take you'll notice that I made the void for the switch a little bit bigger than the switch is known to be, and that's partly because this is being made for somebody who lives a long way from where I am, and so there's a sort of 2 to 3 day round trip time to reprint a new version. So I wanted to try and come up with a way that would make it possible for the person installing this to without having to reprint a new thing, adjust carefully, make minor adjustments to the size of this hole to ensure that there's a snug fit. So I can turn off the test toggle for a second, and you can see that the teeth of this little serrated edge extend further than they need to, given the sizes. And the idea being that you'll flip this over, snap it together, and raise it in, and you can use a small file until you get it just how you'd like it, and don't have to then go back and forth reprinting and mailing multiple copies of this. So that's basically it. It was a lot of fun to put together. I think it worked out better than I expected. Certainly, I am really impressed with the Prusa 3D Slicer's ability to, and the Prusa 3D printer's ability to print sub-millimeter resolution features. Really, really cool. So just before quit, I will switch over to Prusa Slicer, and you can see this is what the 3D printer actually prints out. You can see how, as if we start from the bottom, it's printing the base. It's laying out the individual pieces. You can see the support posts start to form, and you can see the serrated edge on the of the gripper being built up. Then the voids to receive the support posts are created, and finally we've got the full piece. So I'll put a quick picture up of the final printed component, but this was a simple project that has the practical use, doesn't take a lot of plastic, didn't take a lot of time, a whole lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed.